Amy decides to visit Vienna during the holidays after a bad breakup. To attend a Christmas ball, she agrees to dance with a famous European, Lucas, who desperately needs a partner to win. Daniel asks his sister, Amy, to visit Vienna in the holidays. Amy is excited about spending her first Christmas with her boyfriend Roy in Chicago. Daniel suggests bringing him too, since Vienna is very magical then. Everyone is preparing for the ball season, which she might want to attend too. Amy reminds him that she stopped practicing ballet in high school. She asks about Daniel's search for his dad's family. Daniel hasn't succeeded yet, and Amy is worried he'll be alone on Christmas. Daniel asks her not to worry since he wants her and Roy to have the best Christmas. Roy has invited Amy to a fancy restaurant that night to discuss their future. She hopes it's a proposal and promises to call Daniel later. Amy apologizes for being late and gifts some homemade cookies to Roy. He reminds her that she promised to make his Christmas fantasy come true. He introduces her to Elaine, who is also his girlfriend. I didn't see that coming. Amy is confused because she thought she was Roy's girlfriend. Elaine had also assumed Amy was fine with their arrangement. Amy realizes he's thinking of the three of them and walks off in anger. Amy deletes all his photos and feels stupid for thinking she will marry him. She asks Daniel to distract her with talks about Vienna. Daniel describes the Christmas lights and the smell of gingerbread. People are preparing for many extravagant balls. The biggest ball of the season is the Christmas ball, which will take place soon. He asks her to come to Vienna so she's not alone for Christmas. He thinks it's time for her to get out of her comfort zone. Amy likes the idea of the charm of the old world in Vienna and decides to visit Daniel. He jokes about her meeting a prince and getting married, which she feels is not funny. She arrives in Vienna and hugs Daniel. He has found his uncle and is hoping to learn more about his biological father. He passed away when Daniel was very young, so he wants to understand his roots. Amy jokes about her mom and dad finally figuring out why he's so weird. He takes her to a cafe while he attends a call. His researcher has confirmed that he has an uncle, Marcus, who will call him anytime. He's excited about meeting him. They get distracted by a celebrity on the road who is probably hosting a ball. Daniel's researcher calls him again because Marcus wants to meet him right away. Amy asks him to go ahead while she continues sightseeing. He suggests she should check out the Danube Tower, but she doesn't get any signal on her phone. She decides to ask someone for directions at a ballroom dance class. Lydia is very irritated with how Lucas is dancing. He reminds her the competition is in 3 days, but she feels Philippe is a better dancer and lover than him. He shouts for her to return to him, but she leaves and pushes Amy out of her way. Lucas still wants to take the class, but Tommy can't let him waltz alone. They're preparing for a midnight competition where Lucas needs a partner. He doesn't know how he'll find someone on such short notice. Amy decides to ask Lucas for directions since the receptionist doesn't understand English. Amy asks him about tickets for the ball, but he doesn't answer. She assumes he doesn't understand her language when he's calculating whether she will be a good dance partner. He informs her that they're practicing for the Christmas Eve ball. It's the same one whose tickets sell out 2 years in advance. Lucas can't get tickets for her but asks if she has ballroom dance experience. When she mentions she did ballet in high school, he gets excited. He admits that he urgently needs a dance partner for this class. He needs it to qualify for the midnight show for the Christmas Eve ball. He reminds her that if she commits, she must dedicate all her energy to waltz. He promises to be her personal guide in Vienna if she takes the class. He also lures her with a promise of attending the biggest ball in town. Amy realizes she needs to try new things and also wants to attend the ball. She agrees to be his dance partner. When Tommy introduces Amy to the group, she rambles when all the attention is on her. She even mentions catching her boyfriend with another woman. When she admits she starts talking a lot when she's nervous, Tommy asks everyone to return to work. That went well. Amy notices how seriously everyone in the class takes the waltz. Lucas tries to guide her, but she's very nervous. Amy suggests Lucas should find someone else, but he wants to honor their deal. He assures her she can do this and tries to dance with her again. She keeps stepping on him and feels bad for being a klutz. Tommy asks everyone to continue and tries to explain something about posture to Amy. That was never her forte, even as a ballerina, and she continues to be clumsy around Lucas. He gets irritated and asks her to take the class seriously. Amy decides to leave, so Lucas shouts at her for being a stubborn American. She also taunts him for being the snobby European she expected. Daniel is impressed that Amy met Lucas, who is like the Prince Harry of Vienna, on her first day. Amy doesn't want to see him again, since he seemed like a jerk. Daniel has heard that he's a great dancer. He also thinks Lucas is her only chance of attending the ball. He reminds her that she promised she would take more chances. Amu turns up at Lucas's place to apologize to him. His butler, Dominic, isn't impressed with the apology dessert she got for him. Amy admits that she found his address easily after a Google search. That is not something to brag about. She apologizes for being rude to Lucas since she understands how important dancing is for him. He feels bad for shouting at her too, and invites her in. Amy explains that she tried to find something Australians love, and mentions a song that is written by Americans. She asks about his family and the missing Christmas decorations. Lucas admits he hasn't been able to decorate in the last few years. Amy assures him his place is still beautiful and filled with history. She's impressed that his great-grandfather made the chandelier. She's so excited that she drops the cake and feels terrible for being clumsy and ruining his gift. Lucas remembers that he needs to honor his end of the bargain. He offers to show her the real Vienna. Lucas loves how seriously Vienna takes Christmas. Even after traveling the world, he keeps coming back. 35 years ago, his parents won the Christmas Midnight Show and were crowned king and queen at the ball. They also got married and had him shortly after. He has dancing in his blood, but they could never see him win. They passed away a few years ago, so Lucas feels like he needs to win the competition for them. He explains that he was about to compete with his ex, who found a new partner in a French guy. Amy relates to his story since Roy cheated on her too. They're still glad to have each other's company. Amy gets inspired by the music and performs some steps she learned at the ballet. Lucas feels like Vienna suits her, and she needs to waltz like she does ballet. Amy feels they're different because she always performed solo as a ballerina. For a waltz, she will have to trust him. He dips her and assures her she can. She gets conscious and decides to eat at the same cafe where she went with Daniel. Amy feels bad that all of Austria is obsessed with Lucas's dating life. The waitress Sophia brings them hot chocolate and admits that the egg yolk gives it its rich texture. Amy doesn't consume eggs, but decides to try another new thing. She loves it and thinks it's the best thing she has ever tasted. Amy thanks Lucas for being so sweet to her that night. Lucas admits that he enjoys making her smile. Sophia interrupts them because a lady at another table has sent a note for Lucas with her number. Amy feels like she is being strung along, and Lucas has too many girls around. She tries to pay the bill and hurriedly leaves. She doesn't even realize that she dropped her wallet. Dominic teases Lucas about coming in late last night. Lucas admits that he likes Amy, but he ruined it. He sees potential in her as a dance partner since she has talent and an American stubbornness. Dominic admits he thinks that Lucas needs her. Even if he doesn't win the competition, their connection feels special. Dominic admits he didn't like her initially, but is glad that Lucas is smiling again. With Lydia, Lucas was always sulking. Lucas remembers Amy's wallet and how it can help them reach her. Daniel suggests getting some glühwein from the Christmas market, which is a hot spiced wine. He knows Amy is thinking about Lucas. Amy doesn't know what she's doing but wants to see him again. She still believes he deserves a better waltz partner. Daniel asks her to stop selling herself so short. He reminds her she's supposed to have fun and not try to win at everything she tries. He reminds her of all the new things she tried and feels like she's making progress. They're about to head out to the market when Marcus asks to meet Daniel for lunch. Amy asks him to bond with Marcus while she explores the town. She bumps into an American at the market, Hal, who is also from Chicago. She explains that she's on vacation with her brother. She asks him about the wine Daniel was looking for. Hal admits that he's the chief nursing officer at a pediatric hospital. He is in Vienna for a conference. Hal was 10 when he got appendicitis just before Christmas. He spent Christmas in the hospital, but all the nurses were very kind to him. They decorated his room and gave him his stocking. He wanted to return the favor after growing up and decided to become a nurse. When he compliments Amy's eyes, she makes it clear she's not sure what she's looking for. Hal is happy he shared wine with her and remembers that he needs to meet people from the conference. Amy assures him she'll take care of the check since he helped her find the place. Amy tries to pay, but she can't find her wallet. What a surprise! She gets a message from Lucas asking her to meet him for the wallet. Lucas jokes about her deliberately leaving the wallet so he can find it. Amy apologizes for her behavior. She admits she's not a great dancer and wants him to win the competition. Lucas apologizes for the misunderstanding and clarifies that he wants her to be his partner. He feels winning will come in time. Sophia lets Amy know that Lucas has finished 4 hot chocolates while waiting for her. Amy wonders how they can prepare for the competition in just 2 days. Sophia shows them some steps and assures Amy that the waltz is easy. She asks them to try it out. Amy and Lucas soon perform in front of everyone at the diner. They have a great time, but Amy gets a call from Daniel. She rushes out but promises to see Lucas the next day. Daniel thinks his Uncle Marcus's coming over for dinner is an emergency. He doesn't know how to cook Australian food and needs Amy's help. Amy assures him that Marcus just wants to spend time with him. She has her mom's Christmas ham recipe and asks Daniel to get the ingredients. Marcus asks Daniel and Amy to check out a photo album of his family. They settled in Vienna in the 1800s, and he shows Daniel pictures of his cousin and aunt. Amy is interested in a photo of Marcus with his wife Greta at the Christmas Eve ball many years ago. Marcus remembers how fun that time was, while Amy admires Greta's gown. Greta passed away a few years ago, but Marcus is glad about their shared happy life. Daniel brags about Amy participating in the Christmas Eve ball too. Tommy expects perfection from all his students at the competition the next day. He asks them to feel the room and starts dancing. He's impressed with Amy's progress and praises her. He reminds them that only the top 4 couples get to dance at the midnight show. Vicky is sure they can win this time if Lucas is dancing with Amy. Lucas asks Amy not to take other people's taunts seriously. He knows Amy is getting better, even if she is a little sloppy. He feels terrible for saying it so directly but assures her he means it in a funny way. Amy wants to improve and asks for tips. Lucas explains that the waltz is about emotion and precision coming together. He's sure they can wing it with more practice. Tommy agrees to let them stay longer that day, but asks Lucas not to let anyone know he's handing over the keys. Tommy praises Amy for performing much better that day. Lucas guides Amy during practice and keeps informing her that the Viennese waltz is one of the oldest forms of ballroom dancing. The steps are easy, but the details are usually complicated. He asks her to follow his lead and focus on posture and feeling. He's impressed with her progress, but she feels embarrassed about her little slip-ups. He asks her to feel the music and loves how well she handles it. He genuinely feels they have a chance to be among the top 4. He also asks her for dinner that night to thank her. She knows he might have something weird planned, and he assures her it's a surprise. Vienna is getting more beautiful for Amy with every passing day. Lucas shows her some of his favorite views. He also thinks they're not as impressive as her. She points out how corny he sounds. They discuss how she has been to a Ferris wheel restaurant only in Chicago during the summer. Lucas thinks it's more special during Christmas and brings her to the setup he arranged for her. Amy feels like he's doing a lot for her, but Lucas thinks they deserve it after their long day. Lucas wants her to see this view in summer. Amy reminds him that she's in Vienna for just 1 more week. She admits she has had the best time with him, but her real life is in Chicago. Lucas still wants them to enjoy themselves while she is in Vienna. He asks her for one last dance on the swinging Ferris wheel car and feels it'll better prepare them for the solid ground. They share a moment, and Lucas leans in closer, but Amy interrupts him to thank him for that night. She knows she'll never forget it. She's also upset she won't get to decorate for Christmas that year. Lucas offers to let her decorate his place instead. Dominic is excited that Lucas wants him to get the Christmas decorations from the cellar after so many years. This is the first time he's decorating without his parents. He is grateful to Amy for bringing back some holiday spirit in the house. She reminds him he's still missing a Christmas tree, so he plans to do that with her the next day. She comes home to find Daniel in a good mood. She wants directions to the woods outside Vienna, so Daniel offers to ask Marcus. She explains that she plans to surprise Lucas with a real tree. Daniel teases her about Lucas, but she still claims nothing is going on. She reminds him she's leaving for Chicago in a few days and wants to do something nice for Lucas. She excuses herself to iron the only formal dress she has for the next day's competition. Amy is intimidated by how professional everyone looks while competing. Lucas asks her to focus on the lady judge in the middle. She is known for evaluating couples on their chemistry and emotions. Lucas hopes they get a shot at the Christmas Eve ball. He even jokes about his parents coming back from the grave to haunt him if he doesn't. Lydia makes a snarky comment about Amy's dress as she passes them. Amy gets angry, but Lucas asks her to sign them up first. Tommy wishes Amy luck and feels like she has come a long way. She asks him to tell her to break a leg, because that's the American way. All the contestants start performing, and the judges seem impressed. It's soon Lydia and Felipe's turn, who are pretty intimidating. Felipe drops Lydia in the middle, which creates some tension. She pretends like nothing happened and continues performing. Lucas already knows that Lydia will not be happy about that. When Lucas and Amy are asked to perform next, they start with some simple steps. Their chemistry is still undeniable, and they give a brilliant performance. When the results are announced, Lydia is disappointed with the list. Amy is too nervous and asks Lucas to check if they made it. When he realizes they have qualified for the top 4, Lucas picks Amy up and starts celebrating with her. Lydia deliberately spills her drink near Amy, so she falls and sprains her ankle. They took break a leg too seriously. Lucas is worried about Amy and tries to get ice for her. Lydia starts rubbing it in that his dance partner is injured. She claims she doesn't have the same spark with Philippe that she does with Lucas. She knows how much Lucas wants to win and suggests he should consider her as his partner. She even informs him about a rule where a dancer can do that if their partner is injured. She indeed has a plan. Amy feels bad she ruined her chances at the Christmas Eve ball because of her clumsiness. Daniel considers it as an opportunity for him to spend more time with her. Lucas comes home to find a real tree from Amy, which Dominic loves. Daniel wants to take Amy to the doctor, but she feels it might be better in the morning. He asks her to promise she'll go if her ankle is still swollen. He takes her phone to read a message from Lucas, thanking her for the tree. Since Lucas is also worried about her ankle, Daniel feels he's a nice guy. Dominic informs Lucas that he missed a call from Amy. Lucas hears Amy's message about her inability to meet since she's headed to the hospital to get her ankle checked. She promises to call him later. Lucas asks Dominic to prepare the car so they can head to the hospital. Amy thanks Daniel for taking her to the doctor. Daniel is excited that Marcus will stay with them through the holidays to help. Amy assures him it's a mild sprain, so she will heal quickly. But Daniel claims that Marcus wants to stay since he wants to spend Christmas with family again. She tries to get up, but Daniel asks her to give the ankle more time to heal. Lucas arrives at the hospital with flowers for Amy. He gets jealous when he watches Daniel hugging and kissing her forehead. Lydia also calls him asking if he will consider her proposition. Amy leaves a message for Lucas informing him that she's home and recovering. She apologizes for not being there for the ball and hopes to see him again. She knows he must be busy with the midnight show, but she hopes for a callback. Amy feels low when Daniel and Marcus are hanging stockings because she hasn't heard back from Lucas. Sophia offers to get 2 hot chocolates for Lucas, but he informs her that he'll have it alone. He feels bad for trusting Amy when she was with someone else the whole time. Sophia seems confused, since she also thinks Amy likes Lucas for who he is. Lucas admits that Amy is different, but thinks it doesn't matter. He informs Sophia that he's now performing with his ex at the midnight show. Daniel is worried about Amy visiting the crowded market alone. Amy assures him she needs this time to get presents. Daniel promises to pick her up soon since he doesn't trust the crowd. Amy drops her bags after the call and bumps into Hal again. She explains that she injured her leg because of a waltz competition. Hal reminds her that he's a nurse and offers to check it out for her. He fixes her bandage in a way that makes her feel much better. He assures her it's a minor sprain, and she can even dance with it. He suggests she can manage for the night if she takes ibuprofen. Amy is grateful for his help, but doesn't think she'll be dancing soon. Hal needs to leave since he has won tickets to a party that night. He asks when she's headed back to Chicago and wishes her luck. Tommy asks the couples to practice again before the Christmas Eve ball at Cursalon. Lucas and Lydia are rehearsing, but he doesn't look too happy. Lydia makes a speech about how she will be crowned queen of the ball. There we go again. She claims to be humble, while Lucas and Tommy look on with disapproval. She pretends to appreciate all the other competitors, but her words reek of rudeness. Tommy misses Amy's positive presence around the room. Amy looks at the photo of Greta in the Christmas Eve ball gown. She feels like she needs to head back to Chicago. This trip seems like a mess to her, but Daniel hasn't seen her this happy recently in years. Daniel still feels even if she doesn't go to the ball, she has started doing things she likes. At the Christmas Eve dinner with Marcus and Daniel, Amy claims her ankle is a lot better. Marcus toasts to Daniel for getting a last-minute goose, and to Amy's recovery. Amy still feels sad that she won't attend the ball. Marcus reminds them that he was the head groundskeeper of the Palais, where the ball was held for over 40 years. For his lifetime service, he gets tickets to the ball every year. He hands them to Amy as her Christmas present and wants her to go. Amy knows she has nothing to wear, but Marcus brings out Greta's favorite gown. He's sure Greta would have wanted Amy to wear it. They all prepare to head to the ball. Amy feels like a princess in the gown and is glad Marcus is part of their family. Daniel is wearing his father's suit, and Marcus feels he looks like him. When Amy enters the ball, it feels like a fairy tale. Daniel asks her for a dance, and they glide beautifully on the floor. Vera starts flirting with Daniel, so he introduces Amy as his sister. Amy asks them to enjoy while she gets some air. Amy bumps into Lucas, who wasn't expecting to see her there. Amy is a little cold to him and claims she managed to get back on her feet herself. Amy wants to know what happened with Lucas before he pretends she doesn't exist again. Lydia has forgotten Amy's name, but compliments her dress. She drags Lucas away so they can practice for the crown. Tommy asks Amy not to take Lydia seriously. He knows that Amy should be proud of learning to waltz in such a short amount of time. He thinks people like her remind him why he teaches waltz. Amy bumps into Hal later, who claims this is the party to which he won the tickets. He introduces her to Eva, whom he met right there. They're having a great time, so Amy asks them to enjoy the night. Amy feels sad and alone and decides to talk to Lucas. She asks around for him and learns from Vera that he is on the balcony. Amy climbs upstairs and finds him practicing with Lydia. Lucas feels overwhelmed and needs air, but Lydia keeps forcing him to dance. He still leaves her to head out, so Amy quickly follows him. She asks about his problem and why he's blowing her off. She opines that he could have at least said something instead of focusing on being king of the ball. Lucas insists he came to see her and didn't know she was with someone else. Amy seems confused about who this other person in her life is. Lucas is sure of what he saw and thinks that even women like Lydia are better than her. He believes that at least Lydia doesn't pretend to be nice to find her way to the top. Amy feels bad he thinks of her like that, but Lucas heads inside to join Lydia. He wants to win the crown, and Lydia is glad he came back to his senses. All contestants perform well until it's Lucas and Lydia's turn. They start well, but Lucas gets distracted by Amy standing next to Daniel. He stops dancing in the middle and asks Lydia to find someone who wants the crown as much as she does. Lucas refuses to dance with her because he can't live his life for others. He apologizes to Amy and claims he can't imagine his life without her. He feels terrible for what he said to her outside, because he was hurt. He asks Daniel to care for her and thinks he's a lucky man. Amy realizes Lucas thinks that Daniel is her boyfriend. She clarifies that Daniel is her brother, and Daniel confirms it too. Lucas is excited and feels like a fool, while Amy and Daniel agree. He asks for Amy's forgiveness and takes her to the dance floor. Everyone cheers for them and their chemistry. She reminds him of when he told her not to look into her partner's eyes. He feels that rule can be broken if she's as beautiful as Amy. They kiss after their performance, and everyone is glad about it.